Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone here. It's always good to see you every Saturday. We are a family. Any day that we go without seeing each other, especially on Saturday for this meeting, we have familiar faces that we truly appreciate. And we thank you for coming on. And we are so happy that we belong to OnPassive. How beautiful it is to belong to a company run by a CEO who is driven by love, driven by progress, a CEO who cares for us. He allowed us to call ourselves founders. That name alone should make us know how much he upholds us high. Not many companies will allow you to use that name, a founder, that we can refer to ourselves as founders in OnPassive. And we are so happy that we have not only a CEO who cares about us, but leaders who care about us, who mentor us always, who are there for us. And then yesterday when he came to Friday Night Live, we saw his aspect, his desire of him wanting us to understand our business. And we are blessed to have the OTech Pros team who have been there, who move from one webinar to another, educating us, helping us to understand what's going on behind the scenes. And we can testify, many of us, that since they started speaking to us, we have come to understand the process that the system development goes, that we have even forgotten asking, when are we launching? And we are so happy that our CEO has created this company with the tech team that has viable products, a company that is set to leave a legacy, that we are in there, we are the first generation of OnPassive. And after our time from this world goes, we're gonna leave a legacy to our children. So OnPassive is a business of a legacy. And if you want to learn more about OnPassive itself, you can go to onpassive.com. OnPassive is the company. But we encourage any guest who is here today, who is going to attend to this meeting, after we finish, go back, get back to the person who shared with you this link or who invited you to attend here today, so that they can help you understand more. And if you choose to be one of us, you are welcome. As our CEO said, the doors to founders are closing on the 22nd of this month. After that, there will never be a founder position again. And he said he's not doing this, giving us these 2 weeks to get more people in, but he is allowing us who have already seen the vision to finalize ourselves, make sure if we have anything pending, if we don't have access to our back office for some reason, because we forget passwords. He doesn't want to take us by surprise. That's why he has given us this chance for us to do that. So we thank you so much. Our OTech Pros today, we have Brother Collins, we have Brother Andy Parks in the house. We have Lynn, my co-host, in the house. We have our brother Madi Degamo, who is live streaming our meeting. Brother Vincent Ete has a family commitment. He's OTech Pro. Brother Oliver and Brother Bob were in OTech Pro's meeting, but they have commitments. So we appreciate them. And Lynn, I give back the ball to you so that you can introduce our speakers of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, lovely Gladys. We appreciate you very much. Today, we have the honor of two big, prominent people in this business. First of all, we have Collins Mana, and second of all, we have Andy Burks. So Collins is going to talk about technical things. He's going to talk about the software development using the Agile Scrum framework. It sounds very technical, but believe me, when Collins is over and done with this topic, you're going to understand what Scrum is about. It's really very interesting. He's also going to talk a little bit about security, the laser internet technology, and compliance. Just a little bit, he'll touch upon those topics as well. And then we'll have Andy Burks, who's going to speak. And Andy Burks is a longtime founder in OnPassive, and many of us are familiar with him because we see him on the corporate webinars. And he talks about the numbers. He's called the numbers guy, but he also has a strong sales background. He has many years of sales behind him. And he's going to bring a perspective to us that we may not even think about, and how OnPassive is just a perfect forum for anyone in sales and for people who want to make sales, right, Andy, regardless of our skill level. So he's going to bring that component in after Colin makes his presentation. So take it away, Collins.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Gladys, for inviting us again. Unfortunately, our tech brothers are not here. We have Andy also, who is the financial person and the sales person who will really give us everything we want to know about the products. You know, sometimes the product without sales or the product without knowing the worth of that product in the market is just useless. So it's good that we have Andy that can really look at the product and tell us the importance, so we can, you know, be very, very excited of what we have in hand, what Mr. Ash Mufara and the tech team have built for us. As we said, it's not an easy journey. It's really difficult, but we really appreciate the tech guys and Mr. Ash Mufara, because for 2.5 years, or going, he said 2 years, you know, it takes courage and a lot of sleepless night to put what they have just put together, what we are seeing today as products. It's not an easy task. It's very, very difficult. And again, the process to develop this product is really mind-blowing. Not every company can implement this. There are companies, you go, they say, yes, we are doing this, but when you get in, you know that they are not doing what they say they are doing. IT companies, I mean, you know, because they know it is easy, but very tricky to implement. And the moment you get it right, you know, everything will just be so easy. And we'll be talking about the Scrum, you know, framework, how OnPassive have built their product from scratch and get to where we are now with all the multiple products from O founder to Go founder. So we'll run through those processes because it's a topic that Mr. Ash Mofara chose for us to talk about, so the founders can understand. If you want to enjoy it, this is the time to understand what your business is doing. Remember, they'll be building software every time. After the launch, the company will keep going. We will never stop, as Mr. Ash Mufara said. The company will never stop building software. They will build and build, as Gladys said, until we are dead and gone, and generation will come, they will continue to build, you know. So I'll just read the topic before we go, and, you know, it's better to know what Mr. Ash Mufara said, had in mind for us to talk about. He said, having minimum value products, you know, then sprint by Scrum managers, then a bigger product release and multiple releases, preparing the products for the marketplace and go viral. Go viral means go live. When we go, we introduce the products to the world, and companies will come, you know, customers, whatever, they will come to buy our products or to use our products and services. Now, how do we do this? It's not an easy thing. It's something that you need to go through the process to develop this software, which they are using, because Mr. Ash Mufara assured this. We know every time we attend webinars, he always talk about sprint, the next sprint. I know all the founders have heard this from day one. When you join OnPassive, Mr. Ash Mufara is talking about sprint. Oh, tomorrow I have to go because they have to demo a product for me. All this terminology is within the framework of Scrum. So we cannot talk about sprint without, you know, introducing or making the founders understand what is Scrum. Because if we say sprint, you'll never understand until we explain Scrum and we explain Agile, because Agile, Scrum is a subset of Agile. So Agile is like the parent, then you have Scrum underneath, and then within Scrum, you have Sprint. So we will explain that. I'll share my screen and we will talk about that. So let me share my screen, because diagrammatically, you can really see the visual stuff. So that's my screen. Now I'll just go up, sorry. It's come from the last webinar. So we're talking about Agile Scrum framework. So what is Agile? You know, it's a process of develop software, right? So Agile entails the development of software. So within Agile, you can develop a software, a workable software that you can introduce to the market. You know, it's a fast-paced environment. So you develop a workable software that you can introduce to the customer that is agile. Now, what is Scrum? Within agile, you have different framework, but on passive, most companies would like to go use Scrum. Some companies use the other framework, like in agile, you have rapid programming, extreme programming, sorry. You have spiral programming, and you have Scrum. Scrum is one of the most, popular. Most companies like it, but it is so difficult to implement. Some will go spiral because they know, all right, let me use that. But Scrum, it is really easy to understand, but difficult to implement. That's the way they look at it. So what is Scrum? Scrum is a framework within which people can address complex, they talk about complex adaptive problem, while productively and creatively delivering products of the highest possible value. So once you use this, you must ensure that the products that you want to deliver must be of the highest value. If you cannot do that, then forget about Scrum. It's an environment which there is no laziness. We always say it's not for lazy people. There is no hiding place, because you can easily be exposed if you are not doing your job using this methodology, this framework. You can easily be exposed. And I know a lot of people, because I have worked in this particular environment for more than 10 years. In my company, we use Agile and Waterfall. We use Scrum methodology and Waterfall. You cannot hide, because there is no way. And when you are used to this problem, you cannot work in a slow pace. There are environments you go, it's like you are sleeping. But I love it because it's something that is really cool, because it keeps you on your toe. Now, let's look at it and we'll see why Mr. Ashmofara chose this. Why we are saying this, because Mr. Ashmofara wants us to understand how all our products, being from old founders, Go founders, old mail, all of those products were built from scratch, from inception, from an idea of Mr. Ashmofara. So let's look at it. This is a really way of the representation of Scrum. So if we look at Scrum, and I want to say, Scrum comes from the definition of rugby, that you are working in a chaotic environment, but with an eye on the goal, what you want to achieve. So though it is chaos, but there is one thing in your head. What do I want to achieve? Though it is chaotic, what do I really want to achieve from this chaotic environment? That is Scrum. In Scrum, there is no title. Though we can have our personal expertise, but there is no title like managers, directors, or all of those. No, everybody is a team. We work in a team, we succeed as a team, and we fail as a team. That's it. There is no blame game. But one of the things in Scrum, you can easily be exposed if you are not doing your job, because everybody can see that you are not moving. So now let's look at it. If we look at, there is something, I will explain sprint, but I want us to look at this diagram, and I will go through the diagram. So you look at this diagram, you have something we've said product backlog. If you look at it, it's right down here, this big box. It said product backlog. I'll explain what it means. So Mr. Ashmofara has the idea in his head. He knows what he wants to be it or mail. All our products we have, like Academy or Bless, Mr. Ashmofara already knows everything he wants to achieve. Calls the team of experts, we have all those engineers. Maybe you can say, okay, who are the best people to build this product for me? They group themselves together. Now they group themselves together. There is one person within which they have appointed, but that person must have that expertise to do that. In other companies, they'll say project manager, but in this environment, they call the person product owner. So you own the product. Whatever they are doing, you are the owner of everything Mr. Ashmofara is saying. Not like you own it, but it's like you take control of it. You own the control, of everything. Because if you are not in that position and really good at what you can do, forget, you will be fired. So Mr. Ashmofara said, okay, you sit with me. I want 100 screens within mail. How do we go about and do that? 100 screens within Bless. Now the product owner said, okay, Mr. Ashmufara, you want 100 screen. Which one is the priority? Which one do you want first? Because we cannot build 100 screen. Mr. Ashmufara said, I want this first. Now the product owner said, okay, for what reason? Because we think if we build this, maybe we will not be able to achieve this. Can we flip it this way? So they have that front and back. Okay, yes, I see. Let's go with this first. Then you must have the priorities. So the product backlog is the idea of Mr. Ashmufara, sorted in the order of priority, what we need to achieve within the whole development of that particular product. Say, be it O-mail, be it O-academy, whatever, both the physical and the digital products, it goes through this process. Now, after they've discussed all of those things, the product owner will come now, come with a collective people called engineers. They are made up of maybe security guys, developers, back end, front end, all of those people, those who are working, those who will build that solution, put them together. There can be 20 of them, sit in a room, 9 hours or 8 hours, but it is the whole day meeting. It's for the whole day meetings. They call it sprint planning meeting. That meeting is the whole day. They look at it, they said, okay, product owner said, pull one of the cart out there, out of that backlog. Mr. Ashmufara said, this is the first thing we need to do in O-mail, in O-academy. We need this. How do we go about it? Now, what the product owner will do is the product owner will write it in the form of a user story. What is a user story? A user story is a definition of what they want to build in a very, very high level. For instance, you can say, as a user, I need a screen that will contain all my employees, that they can go in and log in and do their jobs effectively. Can you build that screen for me? It is very vague. Yes, we already understand that you need a screen that can contain all your employees. They can log in, see what they want to see, and come out. Great. Now, as an engineer, it means they need to have a login credentials. They start to break all the components on that screen, break it in simpler continent called acceptance criteria. So the engineer will say, okay, if there is something that they don't understand, they will tell the product owner, go back to Mr. Ashmufara, said, these things you are saying, we can do it this way, do this way. Do you accept it? Mr. Ashmufara said, yes, I accept it. Go ahead and do it. They break it down in the form of an acceptance criteria. Means tick box, you need this, you need that, you need that. On that screen, tick. So that planning meeting will take the whole day. Let's say 9 hours, 7 hours, 7.5 hours, your whole working life. If you are spending 7.5 hours in the office, that is the thing you'll be doing to sit and do all of these things. Now, when they accept what they want to do, they will calculate the time. How long will it take? How many people, how many engineers? All of those things will be documented. Who are the best people to build this? Their level of expertise, sort them accordingly. Put it in what they call it sprint backlog. That is the work that they will do for that particular sprint. I'll explain what is sprint. So the sprint can last for either minimum is 2 weeks, maximum is 4 weeks. You must deliver a workable solution. There is no way. If you've accepted, you commit, deliver. By Friday, you need to give us this thing. We want a screen that we can go log in and we see everything, and we can call somebody to come and log in. We enter data and everything is fine. 2 weeks, one more. And OnPassive is going 2 weeks sprint. Mr. Ashmufara confirmed that. It is 2 weeks of development cycle. Produce us this. Give us. That's what we want. Now the engineer will sit. Within that sprint, they will pull one ticket. Okay, this functionality, who is the best person to build this functionality? The person will build it. Who is the best person to build this? They will go now into this cycle. You see, that's you call it team. They say the Scrum team, the people building it, you can see it, I'm circling. Now, every day, so if they said they want to work for 2 weeks, they will have every day daily meetings. The daily meetings, maybe they have one guy called what? The Scrum Master. The Scrum Master is a person that ensure that the teams are concentrating on what they are doing, the job at hand, no distraction from the overall directors or boss or this. Even if Mr. Ashmofara go there, they'll tell Mr. Ashmofara, no, don't come in here. We don't want it. So you must be on that type of person where you can make decision and say, no, we are committed. We can't listen to you. We must deliver this because this is what we are. Because if you allow people to come and talk to the engineer, sometimes you change things and things will go out of hand. So they keep them on their toe. You stay in that little box, concentrate on that job. We want this thing. If Mr. Ashmofara need any change, he will speak to the product owner, and the product owner can say, okay, there is something here we miss. Can we add this? Yes, the customer can make change. Because Mr. Ashmofara asking that as a customer, can we make this? Say yes, when we deliver, we'll make the change, but not now. So they keep them in that little box. Daily meeting. The daily meeting lasts for 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Daily Scrum meeting is 15 minutes. You have the engineer, everybody has a chance to speak for 2 minutes. Like for instance, Lynn can say, Collins, what have you done today? Not like Lynn is looking at me. Everybody speaks, you speak for yourself. So we can say, who go first? Lynn said, I'm going first. I will go first. Lynn, what did you do yesterday? Lynn said, I did this, did that. What are you going to do today? I'm doing this, doing this. I've pulled it up. Okay, do you have any issues? Lynn said, no, I don't have any issues. Oh, do you need help? Then Collins go second, Andy go third. We say everything. That is called transparency in Scrum. We are all transparent. We know what everybody is doing. It's called transparency. Now, every day you have to go, you do the you look at the thing, everybody knows what everybody is doing, and then we can adapt, because in Scrum they have 3 pillars. You have transparency, you have inspection, and you have adaptation. So we inspect at that time what everybody is doing. Are we doing it right? Are we doing it wrong? That 15 minutes, just 15 minutes, no more. You can't speak more than 2 minutes. And we look at it and say, yes, this is it. And then we move now. We go to recycle until we build what we've said we want to build, deliver within that sprint. We finish all the job in this sprint backlog. Then we can move it into this little box, the increment box. So we know now we have a minimum value product that is workable and a user can use it. We can put it in the market and we can sell it. So it is there. Now, Mr. Ashmofara can say, yes, we always hear Mr. Ashmofara said, they will demo a product. We have a demo this day. We have a demo. That process is called sprint review. You have to review it. So who does the review or does the review is Mr. Ashmofara and other teams, because Mr. Ashmofara is acting as a customer, as a user, because he gave the user story from this end, from the backlog. He needs to review it to ensure that what I said I want is what you people have built. So he comes at the end from this box to this box. He reviewed and said, happy days, it is good. I'm happy with what I've seen. If he's not happy, there is room again to go back through this sprint and fix it within that week, that time frame. So now, Mr. Ash said, yes, happy days. Let's say everything is good. The team now will sit. Mr. Ashmofara is not here. Mr. Ashmofara ends here. His job ends here. I've reviewed it. Move to this type is this team with everybody, the product owner and the scrum master sit in retrospective. Now, in retrospective meeting, it's about transparency, adaptation, and done. So they look at it and said, okay, what happened? What was the difficulties? What difficulties did we notice? They will note it down. Everybody speak for himself. It's not like there is no manager, there is no director. Everybody speak. Who goes first? Collins can say, I will go first. Lynn said, I will go second. I said, you know what? Let's talk about the difficulties. In my area, I can say, okay, as a QA, this is what I faced. I had these difficulties and this, and we couldn't do this because of this reason, but we overcome it. Now we put it down. We know, okay, next time we need to do something different because we need to look at our problems, the challenges that we had in building that software. So we work on that challenges because we've already learned. They call it lesson learned. Now we move to what did we do well? I will say, yes, we did this, did that, so we'll keep this. So what did we not do so well? We said all of these things we didn't do so well. Do we need to keep it or trash it and do something else that can move us as fast as possible? Work on that. You know, he said, okay, what if we refuse to do this? What will happen? So now we are looking at the future. Maybe we'll hit a storm. We said, no, we don't want this because if we do this, we'll have blockage and it will have a lot of problems. Now we said, okay, what are the sunny days? All the future, good, we put it. We can say now, within that, in retrospective, we want to define what it means by a complete solution can be delivered to the customer. We said the definition of done. When you said a software is done, complete, what do you mean by that? Every member of the team will give his own definition. For instance, developer will say, when I develop my software and I test it, unit testing is done. Wash my hand off, happy days. Now I will say, okay, when the developer transfer that software to me as a QA, I test it 100% or 90, I can't say 100% in QA, there's no 100%, 98% free of defect, happy days. Now, the next person will say, when I deploy it, there's no problem to the other environment or live environment, no issues, happy days. Mr. Ashmufara will come and say, because he is a customer too, he said, when the product is in the hands of the customer and they are satisfied, happy days. Which definition do we need to choose? Mr. Ashmufara definition. That's the definition of done. So every time you are in the team, you want to hear, ask the leaders, those who are the directors of this, what happened? Is the customer happy? Yes. Are they happy with our software? Yes. Happy days, done. We are done, complete. So that's the definition. So you must define everything. As we said, Scrum and its time box. So review meeting is about 90 minutes. Retrospective is 90 minutes. So everything is time box. Now let's look at the definition of sprint. What is the definition of sprint? A sprint is a set of period, is a set period of time during which specific work has to be completed and made ready for review. That is sprint. You must complete it within a certain period of time. So sprint is a time box. So there is no addition of time. Even if you said 90 minutes, if they said 90 minutes, you say, no, no, there is no going more or less. 90 minutes, done. It is over. So you must know what you want to say, prepare yourself, come for that meeting. If they said you have only 2 minutes to say, there's nothing, no more than 2 minutes, because the next person, that is how it is. It's a fast-paced environment because time is money, time is productivity. So within a Scrum, they said there is less documentation, but more coding. So they prioritize what you need to do. You must have hands-on. We are not there. People are not there to write document upon document. For instance, if Lynn said, oh, I want to send you Collins an email. I said, Lynn, don't send me an email. Just come and show me, tell me what to do. Because I will not read that email. Come here, I'm sitting on my computer, tell me, do you want red? Yes, I'll put red. Gone. Thank you very much. So that's how it is in this environment. It's not about documentation. I need to write a letter and send it to Collins. Nobody will read it. Come, do you want yellow? Yes, sit there, tell me. Red? Yes. I put the red and I click the button. The screen is red. Are you happy? Yes. Lynn, bye. Thank you very much. That's how it is. So documentation is not really something in Scrum methodology. Now, in Scrum framework. So let's look at sprint. What is really a sprint? It's a cycle of development and testing. So you plan, you design, you develop, you test, you deploy. Deploy means give it to the customer or give it to the next environment, like our beta testing environment so you give the products now into our old founder where we can see it. And then Mr. Ashmufara can review it and say, wow, this is great. And if Mr. Ashmufara is not happy, before they even show it to us, Mr. Ashmufara will review and then click a button, all of us will see it. Happy, then move again to the next one, launching. The launching is about going now to the well. You push it to the well where the customers will see it, the third eyes. That is the launching. And a sprint, like one circle, the minimum, as I said, is 2 weeks. Maximum is 4 weeks, not more, not less. And you can move to the next development. Sprint 2, you develop 2 weeks, you move. Sprint 3, 2 weeks, you move. And that's how it is. And let's look at the value, sprint value. What is the sprint value? They said, one, work in this environment, you must be courageous. So you must be courageous to take complex problem, really tough problem, break it down, build it, and then give it to the customer. You must be courageous to do that. 2, you must be focused in your job. There is no room for you to sit being distracted. No, you must be there. Your head must be on what you are doing. 3, you must be committed. You know, commitment is the order of the day. If you're not committed, you are fired. Respect, you have to respect your colleague. Treat your colleague as equal. No harsh word, nothing, no blame game. You know, we work as a team and we fail as a team. We succeed, we celebrate, we fail. No, there's no blame game. There's just lesson learned in Scrum. Openness, if you cannot do it or you are tight, be open. Said, you know what, I'm stuck here. Please, can someone help me? You must be vocal in this environment, because the moment you say yes and 2 weeks gone, they come back and check you are not moving, you are out of the door. There is no say, oh, please, I'm sorry. There is no, because sorry, this customer will not tell us sorry. The customer just tell you, I'm done with you, you know, and that is the Scrum. So in this particular process, we're talking about building minimum value products. Then what will happen? Once you build, it's acceptable in the market, then you add, as Mr. Alpha said, stocking the code. You still go back to that cycle, develop until it becomes full-blown product. Mr. Ashmofara told us that our old mail, there is no way they can compromise. You cannot compare old mail with anything. That's a full-blown. And then what will happen if we go to the market? They will start to have multiple releases on the products, because you cannot end there. If not, your competitors will meet you. They will build their functionality and they'll add more. So we are 10 years ahead of the game. Mr. Ashmofara already know what will be added on old mail and all the other products to make sure we are still in the market. Nobody can beat us. That is the multiple releases that will be coming after we are already in the market. Now let's look at the security part. With all of this, building this solution or building any product from scratch, the product must be secured. For instance, database security, penetration testing. You need to go in and make sure, hack it. You know, there are people who go in, try to hack the database to make sure the database can withstand vulnerability. You know, all of those things they have to test. You know, they have to make sure the code is secure. Encryption is there. Encryption is about, when you look at it, it's about special characters. You cannot even look at it from end to end. The moment you type your password, if you look at it, password is what, ... From that moment, go right into our database. Everything is hidden, so nobody can get it. That is maximum security. You know, everything, you have security license.
Collins, I just wanted to let you know that Oliver is in attendance. He is here now, so he can cover the security aspects. You probably didn't see him come in. Just letting you know.
That's good. That's good. So Oliver can take that security. I was just hitting that part, but Oliver can take it because he's the security guy. He can take it. So, and Oliver can talk about the compliance as well. So, great to you, Oliver. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Collins. That was an excellent presentation. And, you know, when we look at the Scrum values, I just find it very interesting because, you know, personally, I think that the way OnPassive is and how Ashmofara is, those Scrum values fit Ashmofara himself as well as the company. The values of courage, focus, commitment, respect, and openness. I think those Scrum values apply to our company and our CEO. So I thought that was really fitting to say. Thank you very much. As you know, you talk about Scrum being a sort of a chaotic framework. However, I think we might want to call it a controlled chaos because, you know, chaos is expected within this framework. And it's one of the strengths of it, because with this chaos comes in an opportunity to address any issues or problems as they occur. So I think the Scrum framework is what I call controlled chaos, not chaos in a negative way. Would you agree, Collins? Okay, I just wanted to add on to that. Yeah, a positive kind of chaos.
All right, yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now we move on to Oliver Fonte, whose specialty is security, and he's also going to talk about compliance and laser internet technology. Take the floor, Oliver Fonte.
Yeah, hi everybody, good day. And I want to say it's nice to be here. Thank you, Anteline, Gladys, and the rest of our founders that are here. It's a pleasure that we will come to try to, extend our IT background so that we should know our business. This is our business, and you own it. You have your own domain and your own website. So it is yours. And I'm very proud for all those who take their busy schedule to come to listen what their business is all about. This is something that has never happened before on this planet. Being in the industry, for what we know, what is going on, and what we've seen, that the CEO tells us that we have just 10%. This is, in fact, it's mind-blowing. Yes, talking about the Agile Scrum framework, as my brother Connie just put it, nothing happens without security. Nothing will happen without security. Customer satisfaction cannot be without security, because one thing the customer want to ask, are my data, are they safe? Are they secured? I don't want any people, because we'll be dealing with PII, personal information. None of us will want our bank information or our social security number to be out there. So there's the number one thing that any customer that comes to OnPassive want to ask, to find out where are the data going to be stored. Good enough, we have our own data center, which is hybrid now, and all the sophistication that we have there comes now to the Agile Scrum framework. We have what we call product backlog and sprint backlog. The product backlog and the sprint, that is where all what the developers, the database guys, the security, they work on. That is where they stored. That's where everything is stored, and it has to be secured. Because when the developers, they write their code, that is where it's stored. They retrieve it from there, work on it, it goes back there. The security guys, when we want to make sure that security is good, we make sure that where at rest is secured. The database guys also have to make sure that there in the backlog, in the backlog and in the sprint backlog, they're all secured. So being in all this, and in that development life cycle, security starts from the first phase, because you can't run everything and go to the last phase that you want to go and build in your security. Then it's going to be a disaster. It starts from the first phase. Phase one, the security is embedded into it. When the developers are writing their code, they are also writing code for security that is also be part of it, and they will test it. That's on that spring. They'll test it there before they move. When the owner of that project give that the big pass, let me start. Ash is the one who is the owner. Give that tick that, okay, I'm satisfied with this phase. Then now they move it to the second phase. That second phase also, they'll also be whatever they are doing from the database to the developer with the security, right up to the end, the last phase that now has to go, that they have to roll it out. They cannot roll it out without doing another thorough testing. In a non-production environment, that is a replicate. I keep saying this all the time, that is a replicate to the production environment, because the production environment now that says that from that production environment, it is going live for consumption. And they have to make sure, since they started the security from that first phase to that last phase, and that last phase now that they're doing the final security check, and all the checks, they have to check them to make sure that security, database, the code, everything is in place. That is a replicate of that production environment that from there is going live. They have to do that, those check. And when they do those checks, there's something that they call penetration testing. What is penetration testing? Penetration testing is when they hack the system. We have our own in-house hackers engineers. They will hack the system, secure it, hack it, secure it, hack it, secure it. When it's okay, and that is an annual pen test, and it's being done manually. We do have two penetration tests. We have the automated and the annual one. That annual one is a one-time thing a year. Then the automated one now is the one that it might be 2 weeks, it might be 1 month, it might be 3 months, it might be 2 months. It depends now on that company, how they want to go about it. So once that is checked, everything is checked before it comes now to the alpha testing. From the alpha testing now comes to now to the beta testing, that what we are doing, it has gone through all those checks. all those checks, including security checks. Security should be the main and the main thing. The main and the main thing, because we, as a security guy, there's something we call due diligence. Before one want to work with any other third party, we have to do our due diligence to make sure that their security posture is intact, because we don't trust. You never trust. There's something in security we talk is trust but verify. You do not trust any vendor, any company that wants to host your data. You don't. You trust but you verify. So we have to do that due diligence. Show me how you are going to store my data. Where? AWS, OnPassive. We need to see the documents. We need to test that environment to make sure that there's no vulnerability where our data is to be stored at rest. Those are the questions that vendors will be asking OnPassive also, that they want to store their data with us. They have to perform a due diligence on our side. They have to come, they'll come to our site and perform. There might be virtual testing. There might be virtual due diligence, security checks to make sure that our system are secured. They will do it. So we have to make sure that we fortify, of which we are above level. OnPassive, for what we know, what the CEO has been telling us, and what we were picturing also, we are at the top of the game. We are at the top of the game. Coming now to the Scrum, Agile Scrum methodology, that 8 days that they are doing the final checks, the security also should be there, you know, and they should make sure, and in our environment, they have to make sure that there is no vulnerability. You can't give 100% that there should be no vulnerability, but at least to some certain level, because in security also, we don't give 100%. Never, never. I don't care how you say your system is, we never give 100%. And it should be 98, 97, 80, 50, because you cannot eliminate all threats. You cannot eliminate all threats. That's why there's something we call residual risk in security. Residual risk is that you've checked the system. There are some risks that we cannot eliminate, but we can deal with it. That's what we call residual risk. We can deal with them, but we cannot eliminate them. But we know that they are there. Those are the risks that we have to know about. So before now, we come to the other one, that products to go to the market, to the marketplace and viral. Those are the checks that we have to our guys. They'll come again, our data center, which is hybrid, on-prem and cloud, which is hybrid. So from the prem now it goes to the cloud, is hybrid, and before now it hit anything that comes also from the internet space. We do not trust anything. I don't care if you tell me my website is this and or not. I don't trust. In security, we don't trust anything. We don't trust. I don't care if you are the biggest company or what. We don't care. We have to do that security check. And our firewalls are there also in the multiple location. Before you even hit us, we got you. Because of what? Artificial intelligence. Our artificial intelligence comes with it on security. Our internet protocol, IPv6, comes with it on security. Like I always make to talk about omail.ai, that it has no spams folder. It's because of that. So the security that surrounds our data center and in all our system is sophisticated, superior. You can't get us. As much as we say you can't get us, but we also have that residual income. I'm sorry, residual risk. I'm sorry, residual risk that is there, that we know that they are there, but we cannot eliminate it. But it's not harmful. It is not harmful, but we have to put eye on it, monitor it all the time. You know, so like what the CEO told us about laser, that is on top of our fiber optic cables that is connected. I don't think companies do connect fiber. All their cables are fiber optic. I doubt it. I doubt it. Being in the industry, I doubt it. They might do that now. Even like those of us that we are in the United States, the only company that I know that they connect fiber optics is Verizon. That connect fiber optic right to your house. That's why it's Verizon is expensive. Then now we have fiber optics directly to our servers. Directly to our servers that are sophisticated, superior also. Then on top of it, our CEO told us the other day we have laser on top of it. That laser goes and monitor and ping when everything is okay. Bam, fiber optic comes with that speed, and laser also comes with the speed. If you're in the worst remote area, the laser is there. You have access to the internet. It's more powerful than the satellite and mobiles. You know, so the laser thing, I don't really want us to go deep into it because maybe we'll come, the OTEC, we will come and really break it down again another day. So let me just give that surface level about it. Then let me touch a little bit about the security. That I have 4 points I would like to mention also. That is the event prediction, prediction. That it predicts future attacks. AI, what we call AI, that other companies, everything in OnPassive is AI. You know, it predicts future and current attacks. By the time fiber optic blocks it, they want to like come with our own technology, you will not penetrate our data center. They also have automated detection and action. The automated detection action, it identifies all threats and it automates them and, you know, bounce them back that they will not get into our system. And if there's anything, it automatically block or block the server or the system that it will not be able to. Then our guys are now coming to do their investigation. We also have real-time monitoring and alert. The real-time monitoring now, it monitors everybody in-house and outside. You know, the worst people are in-house. Tech guys. The most dangerous people are those that are in-house. Some might be ignorant. Some might, maybe they say, okay, you have 2 more weeks to leave. I'm sorry about that. Maybe you have 2 weeks to leave that company. And they fire you. They fire you. And you have access. You have a lot of access. You can cause damage. So with the AI will automatically start monitoring that person. They might also take some privileges from you so that you will not have access to some certain critical data. Then the other ones that you have access to for that 2 weeks to have the AI will start monitoring you. You want to cause any damage, they just block you immediately and they cannot tell you that you should leave. So you have other ones that is phishing. You might not know. Like one other company that I worked there was one lady in the finance department. They sent her phishing emails. She went and clicked that emails. And the whole company was taking ransom. The whole company was taking ransom. That's why I keep telling people now that we are going into this phase that the molars, money will be involved. You have the bad guys that will be targeting us. Do not click when they send, you see any email that you doubt it, even if it's from your mother, your father, your who. Do not click on any link. Take your mouse on that link. Take your mouse, just go to that link. If you see the numbers, know that it's wrong. It's a phishing one. But if you see the content, if you put your mouse on that link, you look at that content. The content look like something that, you know, don't click. If it's your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, call. Did you send me any email with the link? If they say no, just delete. Delete. Because when you click on that email, they've taken you ransom and they might take some of us. Or anybody on your network, on your contacts, is also ransom. So we should be very careful. We should be very careful on that. Another one is the robust data controls. The robust data control also do filter all bad guys that are coming in, monitor them also, and block them in case of anything, data breach. That's another big one, data breach. They can come through or one of us and they'll get us. So that's the robust data control that we have, that also that AI comes with. So you can see how sophisticated our system is when it comes to security. The CEO has invested money because security is not that easy. It's not that easy. So I will leave it there, and Angeline, take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Oliver. That was a great overview of security and compliance. And the laser technology. Thank you very much. I know it is a those topics are broad and extensive, but given our time constraints here, we can just cover the surface, but enough to just know a little bit. Thank you very much. At this time, we would like to bring in Andy Burks. Andy Burks is a leader in OnPassive. He's a founder, very committed. You see him on webinars such as the corporate webinar for guests. He is the numbers guy. But did you know that he has a sales background, many, many years of sales experience, and he's going to bring in a perspective that we may have not thought about before. So you can take the floor now, Andy.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on. This is good. I love this. I love the simplicity of this company and the magic that it's working. So let me give you a perspective that perhaps you may not have thought of. Now, we've got these minimum value products, things like ONET, which is likely to be free for customers to use. Now, customers are going to come in their droves to use these free products, but now they're a customer. So now they're going to have a look around and see all of the other products that we have within the suite, within the range, as it were. And sooner or later, these people will start to use these other products and become customers and start being paid customers. But just think about this for a moment. We have 4.5 or 4.7 odd billion internet users today. And a lot of us use Facebook. The only reason we use Facebook is because there isn't another opportunity or another option that we can really use. But nobody likes being scammed, and hand in the air, I've been caught out several times or a couple of times with buying things on Facebook and that not being the case anymore. Now, Oliver's mentioned security. I'm going to cover the other side of security, because when you become a customer with OnPassive, you're going to have to prove who you are. So you have to be able to cover what they class as the anti-money laundering regulations. Now, the reason everybody's going to have to cover that is because sooner or later, when a customer comes on board, he may wish to become a reseller, because he will see in the top corner, you can have the money out of this wallet, Mr. Customer, if you click this button to become a reseller. So every single person that joins OnPassive will have to prove who they are. So you're never going to get scamming options like you do on Facebook. You're never going to get somebody having 2 or 3 different accounts or trying to be somebody they're not, or trying to talk to you about opportunities that you simply don't want. Crypto being a good example. Every time I say yes to a friend, the next thing I get bombarded with crypto. So this is interesting. Every single person that comes on board to use the new alternative becomes a customer of OnPassive. So you can build up this massive customer base, and as time goes on, these customers will simply decide, oh look, there's another product that we can start to use, and then you start getting a commission for it, and so on and so forth. Now there's lots of different possibilities with OnPassive. You've got the individuals. Now the individuals will come to take on products or to use the products that we have, may it be for email marketing, for instance. And there are 2 alternatives that I can mention. One's called Aweber, another one's called GetResponse. And as you add to your email marketing, you have to pay more and more per month to use that particular product. Now, just think about this. If they come on board to use the OnPassive email marketing, first of all, you can't spam anybody. So your email marketing will go straight into somebody's inbox. But secondly, if they've got that little box in the top right-hand corner that says, Mr. Customer, you can have this money in this wallet if you click to become a reseller, who in their right mind would ever leave, because now they're being paid to use the products? That's an incredible system, and so powerful, because customers come on board, they're never going to go. They're never going to go anywhere. We've got far superior products that do have far more opportunities than this bit there and that bit there and that bit there. And talking of that, you've then got companies. Now, companies are going to come on board probably to start with, things like the likes of Adidas or Nike, for instance, will come on board specifically for the specific targeted traffic. In other words, we know, or we're well aware of the Google click, click per pay-per-click, or Facebook pay-per-click. This is haphazard marketing. This is not specific. What OnPassive has been able to do is achieve specific targeted traffic. And so companies are going to come on board to get customers. Ash is going to take these guys on specifically for the marketing. But think about it. If a company like Adidas is paying 30,000 a month just for its marketing or its advertising, and that's pay-per-click, which is haphazard, and you may get 1 in 10 or 1 in 20 or even 1 in 100 customers that come on board to sign something up. If you've got specific targeted traffic and your return on investment is 30 or 40%, because customers are specifically looking for a trainer that Adidas have to offer, the cost, it not only goes down, but the profits from OnPassive's point of view get shared with all the founders. So now you've got individuals and you've got companies that come on board specifically for certain things, certain types of thing. Then you've got governments, and the governments and large corporations are going to look at things like staff. Now, Ash has already mentioned this single sign-on, and the tech guys covered this last week about single sign-on and how different that is from the existing possibilities that we've had. Now, we've heard Susie say, who's been involved in HR for many, many years, she says you click on, or you have to remember the password for this particular software to go into that section of human resources, and then you have to log out of that and go into that one so that you can use that and the accounting and so on and so forth. So you've got all these different passwords that you've got to remember. Now that's time consuming. So from a government perspective, the government is going to use these, or large corporations are going to use this. It's going to save them masses and masses of time. But here's the kicker. The government takes it on board to use it, and it says to their employees, look, we need to have weekly meetings, so we need to use OConnect. By the way, Mr. Employee, you need to click on this, and so they become a customer. So all of a sudden, the government themselves are creating customers within their time, within their framework, purely to be able to use the suite of products that we have for their employees. And it doesn't stop there. So large corporations do the same thing. Now, I've been in financial services for many years. So taking an example of an international offshore brokerage, we have consultants all around the globe. We have regional managers all around the globe. We have country managers, in-house managers, area managers, etc. So if you had a system where you went to the company and said, look, we've got this opportunity, you can do these Zoom meetings with all of your managers on a regular basis, and touch base, keep in touch with them. And the managers then become customers for the company. The managers then explain to their consultants, listen, guys, we need to be able to use Opia to be able to communicate on a daily basis. So why don't you use this software as well? So they become customers. Now, in sales, particularly in financial services, if you see 10 people, 2 will always say yes, 2 will always say no, and it's the other 6 that you can potentially convert. But actually, we could have 10 potential customers with OnPassive without even batting an eyelid, because, Mr. Customer, I'm going to do a video conference with you to run through your particular financial situation. Please click on this link to use this software. Now they become a customer. They may not now, but they're now keyed in or linked into that particular consultant. So if a company, for instance, certainly in financial services, has got 20,000 orphan clients or not being looked after clients, every single one of those could become a customer. Now think of this in the larger picture. We've got 4.5 or 4.7 billion potential customers here, and we're 1.3 million founders today. We anticipate taking on over 100 million customers in just our first year. And Ash made it clear that the data center is going to be set up in order to be able to take on board over 1 billion customers in its first year. But can you see how this could go viral very, very quickly, just purely for introducing the minimum value products to other people. Wow, is all I can say. Wow. Thank you, Lynn. I hope that helps.
That is mind-boggling, Andy. Mind-boggling. Think about the volume that this company is going to be doing. Huge volume. It's all about that. I know Mike Ellis has always talked about volume and value, and that's what OnPassive offers the world. So thank you for that perspective. And we'd like to ask you a quick question, and then we're going to wrap up. Andy, what is the difference? One of the attendees here today wants to know the difference between a customer and a reseller. If you could say that in a couple of minutes,
Sure.
please.
Okay. Well, we as founders are founders today, but when we launch, we are going to have to become resellers. Now, from a customer's point of view, as I said, if you take a customer like an email marketer or an affiliate marketer, for instance, and he comes on board to use the email system, he's a customer. Today, he's a customer. But when we go into our back office, we'll have this little button that says click here to become a reseller, and you'll know what's in your wallet because the wallet will show and keep giving you notifications about what money's coming in. Now, as a customer, the customer will look at it and go, hold on a minute, there's a little wallet in the top corner here, and there's a button there that says, if I become a reseller, I can take that money out. So we're going to get lots of people come on board as customers initially, and if they actually look at the suite of products over a period of time and realize that they can get paid to use the products, they could click to become a reseller. Now, all of us founders, as I said, will become resellers. We're like cash registers, because we are now reselling the opportunity to others. And the more resellers we take on board, the more cash registered we've got within our customer base. So although we don't know the customers that are going to come on board, we will know the people that we introduce. And therefore, what we need to do is to encourage them to become resellers, for them to then get an advantage. So everybody here, when we launch, will become a reseller. End of story. We're not only a customer, but we'll also be a reseller. Yeah, does that make it clear, Lynn?
Crystal clear. Thank you very much, Andy. Now we take it back to Gladys Nyaboro, our co-host, to wrap it up for us. Go ahead, Gladys.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you, Collins. Thank you, Olva. Thank you, Andy. And thank you, Vincent and Bob in absentia. This is amazing. All the education that you give us for free. Oh my goodness. We are blessed to be not only founders, we will be customers, and we will be resellers. What a privilege. And whoever who comes in after 22nd of June will not have an opportunity to be a founder. That is priceless. Founders, guests who are here, welcome and listen to Andy. He's the man of numbers, and with this marketing background, tomorrow we have the Heroes team at 1:30. He will be on. Welcome every Sunday. And then we have OTech Pros on Saturdays, every Saturday at 11, and the links are always in the back office. Thank you very much. We are blessed that after all that we have had today, we don't have to worry about it. You know why? Because OnPassive will do everything for us. I know when Brother Andy mentioned that we will be resellers, probably someone said, oh my God, I'm going to sell again. Ash knew that many people have failed in life because they are not able to sell. They sign up for businesses, but because they have to recruit, bring in people, because they have to market, because they have to make cold calls to sell, and sometimes you make 10, 20 calls, you don't get anybody to buy. He knew people were failing. So he came up with a business that does everything for you on autopilot, AI embedded. And our AI is AI with ethics that adheres to ethics, that respects what is to be done. Our CEO plays by the rules. He told us clearly in one of the webinars that we have to be good citizens. So as we have known, OnPassive is already set with its security, with its monitoring measures. As a founder, I will not do anything bad because I know I will be caught by AI. So let's be the best that we can. Let's carry the vision of OnPassive, supporting one another and following the law and being good citizens. Imagine we are from 212 countries. It's us who can build our nations. We can contribute. We can do something good to humanity through Oh Bless. Let's pay those taxes. I think it's Robin who said, the first thing when we start getting our apples is finding that person who can manage your taxes, finding somebody who can talk to you about how to manage your money, and finding somebody who understands the law, and that's a lawyer. Very, very important. I know that one day at a time, but we will be there and we will do great. Thank you so much for all the attendees, the presenters. We love you so much. And Lynn, thank you for co-hosting with me always. I give the floor back to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Gladys. You always inspire me with your words of such conviction and such heart you have for OnPassive, Ashmafara, and the world. You truly have a heart for humanity. You're so special. Thank you so much. At this time, we're going to end our webinar and we're going to take it back to the gallery so that all of you can wave. Our panelists are there. We see you, panelists. You can wave and say bye-bye, and we'll see you next Saturday at the same time. Thank you for your patronage of our webinar. We do appreciate you. Everybody is unmuted. Go ahead and say bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Seeing you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Good night. Good evening.
Bye.
Good
Bye.
morning.
Thank you. Robert Faraji, say hi to Kenya. We love them.
Okay, thank you. We'll do that.
Go, Kenya, go.
Go, Kenya, go. Love you. Good night.
Love you all. Good night.
Kwaheri.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.